She's funny, she's smart, she craves chocolate every day, and she is the Greek goddess of comedy. Here is your host, Ellen Karis.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Karis's Comedy Corner. My name is Ellen Karis, and I'm very excited because we have a guest today. But before we begin, I'm going to thank our sponsors, which I haven't thanked in a long time. Our first sponsor is Baywalk Marketing. Go to their website, baywalk.net, for all of your advertising and marketing needs. They can help you with any type of a flyer. They can help you with your social media. They are experts in the Greek community. Go to their website, hollywoodgreeks.com and hellenicfestivals.org to find out where there is Greek entertainment and a Greek festival near you. And we thank them for their support. Our other sponsor is Select Flex. What is it? It's an insert. What's an insert? They also call it an orthotic. You put it in your shoe and you need it. Your entire body needs it. Everything starts from the feet, from the ground up, your whole alignment, your knees, your back, your hips. And let me tell you something, these are so supportive. It is UGG season now, ladies, which has no support. I have these in all of my flat shoes, and I would never work out without them. Go to their website, selectflex.com, selectflex.com, and there's a 30-second video that shows you how they operate. But what's great also is that for Karis Comedy Corner listeners, it'd be nice if I read the copy as opposed to trying to memorize it. There's a 25% discount if you type in the code FAMILY25, FAMILY 25. You get a 25% discount because you, my listeners, I feel like you are my family, except I don't fight with you as much. So we're all winning. Go to their website, selectflex.com. They're also available on Amazon as well. All right. I am very excited because our guest today, I have not seen, we were just talking about it. It's got to be 5 years. Everything seems to be, it's got to be 5 years or 10 years. Things seem to be falling into that category these days. She is an incredibly talented actress. I was just on her website looking at some of her clips, but I know her as a stand-up comedian. We all were part of the Tommy Koenig School of comedy, and we've been through the circuit and through the gamut, although it's changed a lot. And she is also a mother, which I have such admiration for because I still can't get 3 plants to live in this apartment. So I'm not quite sure how she has 2 human beings. And one of them, we'll find out about the other one as well, but I know one of them is starring in the new Amy Schumer TV show. We call it TV. I know it's Hulu, whatever. You watch it on TV, whatever. I'm going to call it TV, okay? She plays Amy Schumer's, when Amy Schumer was a teenager. We're going to find out all about that. So please welcome my guest, Carla Johnson.
Yay! It's so great to see you, Ellen. It's been so long. My Greek goddess. I did make it to Greece this summer, by the way. So
you did it? You said you did?
I did make it finally.
Where did you go?
We went to Athens and Kos.
Kos.
Have you ever been to Kos?
No.
I know not many people know it. It's obviously one of the smaller islands. It was incredible. Yeah.
So I've been to Greece only 3 times, which for a Greek is humiliating. Okay.
Yes, it is. I'm sure.
We didn't travel when we were, young or young adults. And I didn't go till much later. And so I've been to the big places, Crete, Rhodes, Mykonos, Athens a bunch of times, Santorini, Corfu, and Paros. Piraeus, Paros. But I believe there are at least 1,000 islands.
Yeah.
And the remote ones really are like incredibly charming. So I have on my short list the remote ones that I want to go to next time. So
definitely go. Yeah. It's really great. Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe, atmosphere, the Mediterranean, and what I found too is the food. So the last time I was in Greece was 2016, again, 5 years ago. And what amazed me was, so everything is so fresh. So they bring it to you and everything on the plate looks smaller. right? Like the fish, usually we get a big piece of fish, although these days everybody's cutting back. But I'm just saying, I remember getting a piece of swordfish and some vegetables and whatever. And I'm looking at it going, I'm going to have to order a second plate because this is not going to be enough. But because it's so fresh and everything is just so grown organically and right out of the ocean and not all the chemicals that we seem to be using, you're full, you're satiated, you're not craving more. It was very interesting. I can't imagine what it's like if you spend a lot of time in Europe and then you come back and you notice.
Yeah.
But
No, it was incredible. The food was amazing. Of course. Of course.
so now where are you living? Because the last time I saw you, we were out in Pennsylvania. You actually brought myself, it was Moody McCarthy and it was somebody else. And I can't remember
Oh,
who somebody else
yeah.
was. And it was at your country club and we did a show. Did I go to was I there once or twice? I think I feel
I
like
think you were there twice.
Yeah, me
I
too.
believe. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's right off the tennis tee. It's a really great. It's a really great place. Yeah, yeah.
Are you still living out there?
No, we just go there for the summer,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
We generally just rent a house for about a month and try to let the kids know what like trees and stuff are, as they're city kids. And so we're like, we need some nature. So we just go out there for about a month, and they always ask me to produce a comedy show. So I love getting other people out there, and I don't know if you had time to go to the waterfalls or anything, but it's called Buck Hill Falls, and it's quite a special place.
No, but I mean, I should. And
Next time.
being, I can't stand the word lockdown, so I don't even want to use it. But,
Yeah.
although, I mean, I'm over the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. I've been over it for quite a while. I just find I spend a lot of time inside working.
Yeah, sure.
Everything is that you have to be connected and you have
Yeah.
to constantly emailing and this and that. People don't know the behind the scenes of
Yeah.
show business, of TV
Right.
and stand-up comedy, especially. And sorry, there's an ambulance, which I'm like totally, like a metaphor of my life.
Are
Just-
you in the city or
yeah,
you?
yeah. No,
Okay.
I haven't left. Although much to my husband's chagrin, but I'm just like, well, where are we going to go? But I do have to say that when like March of 2020, when everything was, had just started and there was this panic and people were leaving and there was lines at Whole Foods around the block and all this other stuff, like it was a concert.
Yeah, I know.
um, I realized that I do need to get out in nature more, and it's
Yeah.
not good. And so I really, I gained an appreciation. And then finally, like after 2 months, when, we felt like everything was a little bit better, we went up to like Bear Mountain and hiked. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I gotta get out.
I think everybody tried to turn to nature as much as they could, depending on, your situation. And it's very helpful. I think we all realize like how much we need nature, and I think our lives have changed, because of this, and we're all kind of reevaluating everything. I am still in the city though as well.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
now how old are your girl? It's two girls, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
So one is 16 and one's 18. I know, crazy, right?
Yeah, I like remember when you had them.
I know. It's like that. Yeah, it happens fast, really fast.
We don't have any children, but we have nieces and nephews, and two of the girls live in the city, and they're also about the same age. So
Oh,
I know some of certainly, and I'm very, we're Greek, so we're involved. So I know quite a few of the challenges and things that you have to go through, and it's just so different from when we were growing up.
yeah,
And you know what, now that I see the kids at this age, because they're little adults, and I think there's something to be said about when you grow up in New York. Not that obviously the kids that don't grow up in the city aren't smart, but there's a little bit different of a savviness, I think.
yeah.
But I'm almost glad that they're at this age because of what's happening now with the little kids.
I
You know, that
know.
they went to school with masks on and all of this controversy and, you know, and the back and forth of what you think, what you don't think. I mean, I
Yeah.
just, I can't imagine what that would be like. So I'm glad that the girls, especially the ones that live in the city, the other three live in the suburbs, but and things were a little bit different. But you know,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't have to go through any of that as a little kid and learn. I mean, how do you learn with the mask on? It's crazy.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, how far the kids are behind or not, or they're all getting kind of used to it now too. So it's going to be kind of a shock when they can take them off, which I think the masks, I think they're going to be like, I would say in a month or so, they probably won't have to wear them to school anymore. So, I mean,
Well,
if I had to guess,
right.
who
I hope,
knows?
yeah. I
Who
mean,
knows?
I think again, I just, you know, I know we all have different opinions on it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I think we're done. Like,
Yes.
you know, at
Yeah.
least for now, before, you
Really.
know, I don't know what's down the road, but
I know.
you know,
It's
it's
like,
like,
check, please.
yeah,
Check, we're
yeah. I
done.
mean, can we have a moment or we, you
Yeah,
know, people
absolutely.
still talk about the lockdown. It's like, what are you locked down about? Why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you going out? So it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It, like, again, so each his own. But for the kids, when I do, and I pass them on the street and they're outside, let me just say that again. They're outside
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
have masks on, and it's like,
yeah. Well, you just forget to take it off, and then you're walking back into some buildings. So you're like, it's too
right,
much trouble, and
right.
it's actually easier in the winter to wear it, I think, because it kind of keeps your face a little warm, and then the summer is like, oh.
Right, right. No, I mean, I get that also because you got all this other stuff on you as well. So
Yeah.
what have you been doing? Have you been doing stand-up comedy for the last few years, or you just focused on the kids, or
Well,
trying to
I
focus on the kids
did.
with their career, or acting? Like, what do you write? Like, you do a million things, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure when you sleep, but
Me either. That's so funny. You're so sweet. Yeah, I work out of Gotham. I have not been up since the pandemic. I went right before the pandemic, and then I started really getting into writing short films. So I wrote like four short films, got them produced, and one of my films is called Five Teenagers Walk into a Bar. That both of my kids are in it, and I'm in it, and it's basically like a Breakfast Club meets Stranger Things, and these five teenagers get caught in the desert, and they get left behind on a field trip, and they walk into this bar, and I play the creepy bar owner. So it's
I saw the clip. I saw some of the
yeah.
like, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yes, thank you. So I won. I got lucky. I won best screenplay at the Urban Film Festival in Miami.
Wow.
So I went down there with my director Vivian Sorensen, who's amazing. We had a woman DP who was 4 months pregnant at the time, a woman director, and a woman writer, and um, everyone in the show was a woman, and we had one trans boy. So yeah, it was a really really cool. And so I started lengthening the short, and I just finished the feature, and somehow it turned into a musical.
Oh
So
my
it's a little bit of
gosh.
like a Rocky Horror type of thing now. It's very, um, yeah. I just need to get it done now. So I'm working on that.
You're
Uh,
so multi-talented. So
so
let's
sweet.
just go back for a second, because when I looked at your resume, I remembered that you're from Colorado.
Oh, right.
I remember we had that, I remember you saying it. And you've done so much regional theater, off Broadway. You're in Orange is in the New Black. I mean, you have a BFA from the University of Colorado. I mean, you are trained.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember, but I was an accountant. I was a CPA before like
Wow.
this this choice.
You
Um,
and Bob Newhart, right?
Bob Newhart. Yes, Bob Newhart is the one. And Ray Romano started out in accounting, but he didn't become a CPA.
Wow.
So,
That's
and then I'm
great.
sure there's a smattering of a few others, but yeah. So, but you started it like, obviously as a kid,
Mhm.
you were
Yeah.
performing, you were doing things, you were in plays like this
Yeah.
always been the way that you've moved.
Yeah. Since I was 9 years old, I knew I wanted to be an actor. And then I also started writing quite a bit. I had a couple one-woman shows here, and just kind of with like stand up was kind of a natural thing after, writing
Right.
and acting, and then, it just comedy just opens up so many doors, and it's so much fun just to, you just want to get up, you just perform, you don't wait to get cast, you just do it. So there's a
Well,
lot of power in that.
right. I started out wanting to be an actress. I mean, I act and I still do, and I still want that. But I started out with the acting classes, after work,
Uh-huh.
improv and film and all that, studying with acting teachers and all that. And then it was an acting teacher, Penny Templeton, who thought I did stand up. And then I was like, no, she's like, you should, you got to talk about your Greek family and all this. And then I went to the comic strip, I took a class, all that. But my
Yeah.
mindset was, oh, well, this way I'll work. I'll be able to just do my own thing. And I mean, to a degree that is true. I just didn't know how hard it was
Right, right,
to
right,
ultimately
sure.
get you. I mean, it's still 20 years later and I'm a headliner, and but it's still difficult
Amazing.
to get bookings. I have no representation. I do everything myself.
Yeah,
So,
it's all
but
about the
yes,
hustle.
but it would, there is something to be said about uh, stand up. It's much more entrepreneurial. It's your words,
Yeah.
but more of the onus is on you because it's you. You're the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar situation. I was in a commercial acting class, and it was her name was Joan C. She was kind of like the commercial. Did
I
you
took
take with her?
oh yeah.
So it was me and Marla Schultz. I didn't know Marla, so it
You
was
know,
like Marla and
right.
Carla, which is kind of funny.
Uh-huh.
And
That's
Joan kept giving me the funny copy, and she's like, "You got to do stand up." I was like, "I'm not doing stand up." And she's like, "You got to do stand up." And I was like, okay, I'll do stand up." So I was very reluctant, and then I loved it, and I'm really glad. It's a lot of hustle, but it's really fun too.
but it's so impressive. You have every avenue on your resume, the theater, the music, the singing, the comedy, the drama, TV, film. I mean, you've got the whole toolbox, which is
Yeah,
incredibly impressive.
thank you. I'm definitely not a singer, but yeah, I like to do everything else.
Sure you are. Okay.
I let my kids do the singing for me.
I saw some of the clips as well. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to get to your kids in a moment. So when did you come to New York?
So I came after college, which
Uh-huh.
I'm probably
Okay,
won't say the year, but I've been
no
here a while.
worries. We don't
Yep,
say
I mean,
years
just
here.
just 5 years ago.
We don't say anything. You know what how I start a sentence with back in the day. That's how
Yeah, back in the day.
that's
Right.
my catch-all. Don't ask me. I just back in the day.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
so quite a while ago. And how did you find it coming here as such a young person from Colorado? I mean, it's where did you come from in Colorado, by the way?
Well,
Colorado's
so I grew up in Denver. I went to school in Boulder at CU, and I got a BFA and an English degree. And then actually, I didn't come straight to New York from Colorado. I actually lived in DC for 2 years.
Mm.
Forgot about that. But I did like America's Most Wanted down there. I was at the Folger, so I did like all the Shakespeare, and worked with a theater company called Consenting Adults Theater Company, and got two of my plays produced there. So then I said, well, I should come to New York now. So then after that, actually, I came to New York. So it was a nice stop along the way, so I could learn like, okay, this is the subway, this is the city, and it's such a small city really compared to New York. So that was like a great training ground before I made the move to New York.
Okay, by the way, I failed to mention Shakespearean actor, which is its own genre of
It's
entertainment.
crazy. Yeah, that is
That is
crazy.
its own thing.
I did a show with Kelly McGillis of Top Gun.
Oh, yes. Oh,
She's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah,
She's such a sweetheart.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
So you came here, you came to the big city. Do you remember what, two questions. Do you remember what your first reaction was? And I mean, you're a New Yorker, obviously at this point. How are you feeling about New York these days? I'm a native, by the way, so I have a
Oh,
lot to
wow.
say.
Okay.
But I
Um,
want to get your
I
take
just
on it.
found New York so freeing because nobody knows you and nobody cares. And like, I just found that extremely freeing. And maybe I'm weird that way, but I just really felt like I could come into my own. I could, you know, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do, and no one's gonna bat an eyelash. So, um, I really liked it, and I lived with my best friend from college, so that was really helpful. I had, and then a couple of our other friends moved from college as well, so we had a really nice support system, which I think is super important. I started working at the Naked Angels. I got my plays read there, and that it's really all about community and just really getting in there. And that's this thing with the pandemic is that we're all like we all realize like how much we need each other, and New York's definitely different. I think we're going through a lot of growing pains right now, trying to get back on track, and it definitely feels a little more dangerous on the subways, and that's pretty disheartening to me. Um, but I think we're gonna bounce back. I think that I don't know if anything will go back to normal um, again, but I think that we should embrace, whatever we've learned through this, and taking a good look at ourselves, and just try to make something positive out of it. So I do feel like it's a growing pain right now, though.
You're very nice. I, I'll be very brief. I'm disgusted. I'm disappointed. I love the city more than anything. And I think that the people that run it, so-called, work for us, those people that we pay their salary via our taxes, are completely inept, all of them across the board. And I'm not quite understanding yet how these, the looting and the homelessness that we've had for a very long time. This isn't like an overnight or like
Yeah.
one person, problem.
Yeah.
That's still happening. And again, and I both sides of my brain work. They just each work at 50%. So I get the 100%. So I'm always thinking on the finance side is like, where is all this money go? Where's the money
Oh,
going?
right.
Where was the Thrive money that was allocated $1 billion for the homeless? How come we don't have a state of the art hospital and center and all this on the outskirts where there's plenty of land in the city for these people? And I have a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and nobody answers them, and it's a lot of double speak, and it is dangerous. And you have two young girls,
Yeah.
as with yourself, because a lot of the attacks are on women. And
Yeah, we just took a self-defense class. Actually, I can put it in the chat. It's this woman, she's incredible, and we took a class with her just because we don't feel safe,
right.
especially as women. So I'm sure I'd be happy to share that information, but it's just
Okay, great.
it's just a 2-hour class, and it does help you feel a little bit more empowered.
Right. Just some preparation of some, you need something. I completely agree. So anyway, it's upsetting because I agree. I mean, it's a very different place. And especially as an artist, although again, I had a whole nother life. It was great as a business person as well, that hustle and bustle, not seeing that. I don't know what's going to happen with the office space. A lot of the theaters that we love, the little theaters that we could work out in, are some of them are disappearing. And the clubs are struggling too, to a degree. I mean, a few of them, sort of have that stable of people, but they were closed for a long time. They were out. I actually worked on a documentary about New York City, which I'm hoping to wrap up very shortly. And we actually interviewed Al Martin, who had a great
Wow.
perspective, but we all lived this. So it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because there's some things that definitely can be fixed. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, for another day. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to get your perspective because you've been here, and you saw how great it could be, and now not so much. And
Yeah.
you've got two young daughters, and you want to know where they are.
Yeah.
Tracker.
Yep.
And so it's scary. It's definitely scary. So let's just kind of fast forward to sort of like recently, the last couple of years. So what have you been doing? And I know you've pretty much been, I'm sure your girls have managers, but you also are the mom, so you're helping along. So what's been going on in your house?
Well, stage moms get such a bad rap, but I've had such good luck with other stage moms, and just, I mean, maybe it's also because I'm an actor, so I'm like pretty chill,
Mhm.
and I know what everyone's going through, so I just kind of try to make things run smoothly, and it's really almost like being a project manager because they have the singing coach, they have the acting coach, they have someone to help them with the self tape, they have somebody maybe to help pick them up, when they were little, and then the manager, the agent, the assistants, and then it's just like it's a lot.
They
It's
have a
basically,
team. They have a
yeah,
team.
it's a team for sure. And it's really all, I mean, it's all about relationships, right? I mean, it always is. So I've just been so lucky to find the best people for them, um, and for myself. And when I was pregnant, my agent, when I had Clara, my first child, they said, "Can we send your baby out too?" And I was like, sure. Like, I'm sitting at home. Like, I'm just like, okay, I got to get out of the house. So it was really great when Clara started booking like these magazines and stuff. And, they take your baby, like, so it's like free babysitting. They give you amazing food. Like, they pay the kid, and then you can like hang out with other parents, so you're not depressed at home. So it was like such a no-brainer for me. It was like more selfish, like, okay, sure, you can, I'm gonna just take a nap and like see you guys later. But then you have these awesome pictures of them, as babies, and these great photographers. So it was, not something that you can get at mommy and me class. But because I was an actor, it's like the world that I already know, so it wasn't really a big deal for me. Like, I was home. And if I had an audition, I could just take them with me.
Right.
So
Right. Well, you talked about stage moms. Part of the problem is that the stage moms were ones that wanted to be actresses. I mean,
mm,
you are an actress, so that you didn't have that where you were trying to live vicariously through your
right.
child. So I mean, it's healthier actually.
Yeah, well, and I think the stand up really helps because you do get that outlet of performing all the time and like having your own life. I think that's really the most important thing because it can happen with like soccer moms or like soccer dads or whatever, but it's like if you have to have like your own life first and foremost before you can like help your kids out or guide them or whatever.
Right. So you got them out there, when they were like fairly young.
3 months. Yeah, Violet was a late bloomer. Her first job was at age 4. Because I had 2 kids, so it was like a little too hard for me. So I was like, okay. But
And,
she booked her first job when she was 4
and
for
what was
her
that?
hair. It was for like a hair product or something. Yeah.
That's so great. And kids are expensive. So the
Yeah.
fact that they were earning their keep,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
Clara booked
nice.
like a Sears commercial at 4 months. That was really good college money.
Oh, God bless
Yeah.
you. You knew how to do it right. I mean, that's great. Your husband was obviously supportive of all this.
Well, and he's an actor as well and a singer.
Oh, is he? I
So,
didn't realize
yeah,
that.
it's like the Von Trapps,
That's great.
But yeah, he also does real estate, but he's
Uh-huh.
in a theater troupe as well right now, and he's an incredible singer and actor.
Oh, I didn't realize
So
that.
yeah,
And his name is Neil Young,
I
right?
know. So funny, right?
But
I'm a
not the
simple girl.
not the guy that's complaining on Spotify. Not
No, no, no. He spells it Neal, but
right. That's
yeah,
funny.
he's easy to remember for sure.
So tell me what's been going on with the new show,
Yeah.
and is it Life of Beth? That's
It's Life and Beth,
Life and Beth, right?
and it's just incredible. I actually am in one episode. I told
I
you that.
saw that on your resume. I was like, oh, what did she
So
play?
that's kind of fun. There's a lot of comics in the show, and it was just the most incredible experience ever. And I mean, Amy is just, I love her so much. She's just an incredible person, and the whole thing was pure magic. It really was.
Let's give her a big, huge shout out for somebody that has created employment for
Hmm.
so many performers,
Yeah.
and she obviously, she's a huge, she's one of the biggest stand-ups. So she has brought in so many stand-ups, and when every time I see a stand-up, well, when I see a stand-up acting, I'm very happy for them,
Mhm.
and because I think we're special,
Yeah.
and we really have to think on our feet.
Yes.
The improv skills, like, I mean, if you got trained for it, that's great. You took improv, I took improv, but even there are plenty of comics that never took improv, but their improv skills are amazing. Like, you have to have,
Yes.
some of that has to be innate.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then we write and we do everything. So to see comics be employed in a film and have it have it happen from other stand-ups that got these opportunities. I mean, she has certainly brought her inner circle,
Yeah.
with her,
Oh,
but she's also
100%.
brought lots of other people. So I give her a lot
Yeah.
of kudos between the Comedy Central special, her movies, her
I know.
other TV show, all the things that she does. It's really phenomenal.
And let alone during a pandemic.
A pandemic, and she had a baby, right?
Yeah.
Kind of during
Yeah.
all,
He's
like, her baby,
adorable.
right? So, and then, filmed in New York again, shout out,
In New York.
employment,
Yep.
employment.
And there was not one COVID case the entire time.
Oh, well, that's good.
And that was a miracle. And the crew and everybody on set was so just very careful and kept us all safe. It was just the whole thing, was just magical. And I can't wait for you to see the show, and
Me too.
it's really, really great.
So tell us the role, tell us a little bit about the show, and then tell us the role of your daughter, Violet.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Did you all see the trailer that's
I,
out?
I did. I did.
Yeah, so it's basically about this woman who is, she was a wine cellar, and she sort of makes a lot of decisions in her life. She's approaching 40, and then Violet plays the younger version of Beth.
So is it flashbacks? So
Yes.
she's flashbacks, and okay.
Yeah. So you kind of figure out, you just never know what people are going through, when you walk down the street. You just never know. And it's such a special show because you can start understanding everything, and I think people are going to really relate, and I think it's going to help people, when you're sort of laughing and crying at the same time, and it's just beautiful, really.
Well, she puts herself out there for sure.
Yeah.
And she definitely has the pulse on younger women for sure.
Mhm.
And then she does things in a very humorous way. She has her own take, her, her own delivery.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very exciting to see. I did see the trailer. And
Yeah.
your daughter really does look like a younger version of
Oh,
Amy, which was amazing. I mean, that was like the first thing that I saw.
oh,
But I'm so happy for you. I mean, I think I really admire people that work hard. I just do.
yeah.
And have a really good work ethic, because I really think that that's what's kept society glued together. So, and
Oh,
you
absolutely. And
do.
some people like say it's like an overnight success, but Violet's been doing this since she's 4. So she's worked a lot. She's a little hustler herself. So I was really
And
proud of her.
and it's different for the kids. I mean, when you're adults, it's like, okay, you got to have a full-time job. They still have school, and they still
Yeah,
have all of
yeah,
their responsibilities and the tests and the regents and whatever. I mean, they still have to
yeah,
get all that in.
for
And she was doing
sure.
it during the pandemic, when that was a whole, what was that? Was it a little easier because she was at home and she was zooming, or it was harder, or it didn't really matter because
Um,
she's sort
well,
of
when
so
we started
organized.
shooting, that's a great question. When we started shooting, she was doing a hybrid of
Mm.
school. So they would go in like one day and then not. And it was very very random. So, as an actor, you just kind of like go with it. And they did have a great set tutor. So generally the set tutor would sit with you, but, it was always on Zoom. So she would have to do 3 hours a day of tutoring and then also working and stuff. So it's like a juggling act. But I think the days that she, which she was off, not working, and then she was able to also go to school. I think the more that she could go to school was great. It's just a nice balance to be able to see your friends, and then, she'd always rather be on set. But it's nice to like have both. And since it was shooting in New York, it was kind of easy for us.
So also with the kids, generally there's a few kids, unless it's this kid friendly show, like, I don't know, like Sesame Street or something.
Right.
Everybody's an adult. Everybody is 20, 30, 40, 50 years older than, than they are.
Yeah.
So it's they might not have anybody to hang out with. And there's a level of maturity for any child actor.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And everybody was really cool about that. And there's actually quite a lot of kids in the show.
Mhm. Oh, that's good. For,
Yes.
for her,
Yeah. It was great.
in the
And
demo.
everybody got along, and it was just a really cool vibe. Really
That's
cool vibe.
that's great. So when is the drop date for that? These days?
March 18th.
March 18th. So
Yeah.
you filmed one season. So,
Correct.
right,
Yes.
okay, which I'm sure it'll get picked up. I mean, it looks fabulous, and Amy's got that touch. So
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
her
That would
thing
be amazing.
and her things keep going and going. I mean, look at Maisel. Maisel's on you.
I know. I love seeing you on
Thank,
Maisel.
thank you. Actually, we're gonna start filming in a couple of weeks for season 5.
Wow.
So the hair will go again, but this time this time I insisted, and I guess because now I've been there for a while, I'm like, I'll take care of the haircut, okay? Because
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, what's happening? So, but anyway, yeah. So it's good. It's so fun. It's so fun, and it's such a blessing
It
to
is a
be to
blessing.
be on a TV show,
Yeah.
and um, you know, we probably again, started around the same time when there weren't that many shows here. I mean, I remember when I started to, get interested, Sex in the City,
Yeah, sure.
Open Faith,
Sure.
there was a handful, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think that was the time, like Susan St. James they were trying to do another show with her
Yeah.
and maybe Jane Curtin or something. just, I
And
know,
then
I'm
Brooke
really,
Shields had a show like
right, I'm really dating myself here,
couple,
but yeah, I mean, it was just all these, Spin City had left, they're like, there was nothing. And there was no Hulu or Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of that. Occasionally there'll be a movie. And, and HBO and Showtime weren't even churning out what they churn out now, billions.
Yeah.
And the Sopranos, started really with the Sopranos and Sex and the City, but so thank God there's much more opportunity here. And I'm gonna always give my accounting brain a shout out, production credits, because that's what happened. They allowed movie makers and TV makers, filmmakers to get tax credits, which reduced expenses.
Yeah.
Hence, made it
Well,
better.
is that
I don't know
still
why everybody gets, like cuckoo, about that. It generates income. Trust me. This I know.
yeah. Well, is that still in effect?
So it had expired, and
Yes.
I was like this,
Wow.
because then it was going to go away. And then they, and I hate to say it was Cuomo, but I believe it was Cuomo. I think it was one of the last things he did. I know, right?
Okay.
But you got to give credit where credit is due. So I
Right.
think he signed on. I don't know if it was for 5 years or 3 years, but they definitely extended it.
Wow.
It might have been
Did
for
you guys
5
shoot
years.
at Steiner for Maisel?
So so for me, I'm a waitress in the deli. So that's on the west side, on the Upper West Side, on Broadway,
Okay.
between 82nd and 83rd. I think it was called Sarge's Deli. So which
Okay.
went out of business a whole bunch of years ago, and then they took it over. I don't know if it went out of business and Maisel found it, or I don't know that chain of events.
Cool.
So I never get out of the deli. But so a lot of the interiors are at Steiner, and like the apartment and all that. But they do a lot of exteriors, Coney Island, all over the city, the Upper West Side, you see them. So, it's always fun. I mean, I live on the Upper East Side, and I love seeing the signs.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, work.
Wow. That is amazing. And how did you get on that?
I think because I fit into the costume. I think really that's it. I had, it's not about talent or anything. Yeah.
I always look for you in every scene. I'm like,
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I'm flitting about. I flit.
I know you do.
And it's funny because I've never waitressed before. So,
so funny.
and I know that I'm Greek, and it's assumed I worked in my father's diner, but we weren't those Greeks, like that and going to Greece. So I missed that. Although I do always support the diner. I will always eat in a diner, but I don't have any relatives
in this.
Yeah, someplace. But yeah. So now we're there, and it really, I mean, it's, I don't want to say hard work. It is hard work. It's people don't realize the long hours, right? So you've got to get, okay, I want everybody to just grasp this concept. Okay. You have to get your teenager out of bed at 5 a.m. Okay. Do you know what that's like? So
I know.
get them up, ready to go. Make sure they, shovel some food in their mouth, because everything's quick, makeup, this, that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yes.
And a lot of doing again and doing again and doing again. That's why I'm saying the kids really have to have like an extra level of maturity to be able to go through that and take direction and listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we all do. But I'm just saying, again, they're kids. So
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It's a totally different animal, but it's a lot of fun too. But I know the long hours, people don't realize like how many takes you do for like one scene, and it's crazy. As a side note, I was a roller skating waitress, Ellen.
Oh, where? On Maisel?
No, in real life, in Boulder, Colorado, when I was going to college.
Carla, every conversation
right.
I always find out a little nugget. Oh my God. That's amazing. I love that. And so you cannot see from here, but Carla is gorgeous, tall, statuesque. There in your clip, it was hilarious. It was you and Carmen Lynch.
Yeah,
I loved. Okay, it's like the twins. Okay. And Carmen Lynch, also amazing comic that actually I've been trying to get on the podcast for a while. Her schedule is always crazy. And I am a very short stature. As a matter of fact, I have done stand-in for children. That's how short I am.
Sure.
So yes, so I've done that. I've stood in for little boys. So there you go. There's something to brag about.
Yeah. You got to use whatever makes you different and whatever, it can be a real asset.
Right, right. And now I have to say, it's almost like the ordinary look is out, anything
Yeah.
that's sort of different. And
Yeah.
you read some of these castings, it's like, we want an albino one-armed juggler that eats fire and speaks Georgian. I mean, it's really gotten very like
I know.
and
I know.
strange.
That's why it's
Before,
like, you got to write your own stuff. You got to have the content. And as a stand-up, it's just great because you get so much training in that.
so let me ask you something as a piece of advice. I'm sorry. Before I ask you that, what about your other daughter? What are her
Oh,
projects?
so she is at Tisch,
Oh,
NYU. Yeah.
oh my God, everybody, if you don't know, very hard to get in. Very impressive.
Yeah,
That's
she's
great.
thrilled. It's called the New Studio on Broadway. So she's doing the musical theater track, and there's only one of those. So she loves it, really loves it. So singer, dancer, actor.
Wow. Wow. A lot of triple threats, a lot of Dick Van Dykes in your house.
I know, it's crazy. Everyone's always constantly singing and dancing.
I think that's great because
Yeah.
it really does keep you happy.
Yeah, it
I
does.
think
It does.
for people that don't have art in their life of some form, whatever that is,
Yeah.
I don't know how you get through the day. I mean, my husband has a business mind. This is absolutely not his wheelhouse or anything. And the things that he watches are incredibly violent and weird.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
really I know I'm gonna like Amy's show, and I like Maze, and I like things. Not that everything has to make me feel good. I mean, I watch, Billions and all that, but I mean, he watches some really, really off the wall stuff. But here's the good news. There's so many choices that
Yeah.
now, it runs the gamut. So whatever your taste is, it's out there and someone's made it
That's so true.
somehow.
There's something for everyone.
So let me ask you, this is really like for me, a personal question. So I have been trying to write a play about my one woman show about my great grandmother. And I've
Oh,
had this idea for, oh God, 6 years, 7 years. And I'm also trying to write a book.
wow.
Something and it's had 50 iterations already. I actually did write a children's book, which was
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
about being
That's
a
so cool.
godparent. And that took 5 years, by the way, just
Yeah,
from the
no,
time I had the
I've
idea.
been there.
Again, yeah, people don't realize. And I'm so crazy busy, again, just getting through the day and getting through things. But you have written a lot and have seen it to fruition. So what advice would you give anybody wanting to write a play or wanting to write a one person show? Like so kind of like what's your discipline? What's your process?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of different processes, but I think it really helps if you have an accountability partner or a coach and just someone to go on that journey with you because it's lonely. It's lonely to write, you know. You can get in your head and have fun with their characters, but it's like you're just sitting down by yourself. So I know for my short film, it's called Plot, and we got into a lot of festivals. My friend and I would meet like an hour. Like it was sort of based on a true story, so it was like kind of easier, but it was a mockumentary, and we just met for an hour, and then for like about 6 months, and I said, you know what, let's just put a date on the calendar. Like this is when we're going to shoot it, and we literally just put a date on the calendar, and so then we had to do it, And that's, if you can find a class or like even just a coach, and just, if you have to pay them a little bit just so you can say like, okay, I have to do 10 pages every week or something like that. You have to, for me, I have to put a lot of pressure on myself, and I have to have somebody to help me put pressure on myself, um, and otherwise, like, I won't do it. I won't do it.
Well, I did sort of start that process. Quite a few years ago, I did take a writing class, which was great. I did the
Yeah.
level 1 and level 2. And then I stopped. And again, I got very into stand up and just sort
Yeah.
of focused a lot about that and some things in life as well. But recently I did just sign up for a class, and we're doing it on Zoom.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's working, it's fine. I mean, it would be nice to be together, but it's
Yeah.
okay. It's where and it's a small group. It's not like there's 70 people and
Right. No, that's
find
very,
each other.
very
And we're
good.
getting a lot of time and stuff. So, and it's actually somebody that did write a one-man show, and that's been very successful. And he's got a show about Lenny Bruce. So he also has a
Oh,
theater
okay.
company. So I had him on my podcast. We sort of, it
That's
was
so
interesting.
perfect.
We had like an interesting connection to each other from somebody. I knew his cousin, just
Oh,
which
wow.
was separate and apart. So it was meant to be. I like sort of, I do believe in following the signs. I feel like there's no coincidences in life.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see things. So I'm starting to do that, and he is starting to hold me accountable and like, set an alarm. How many? And it's true.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Like at first, I feel like a failure. Like, why I can't do that? I'm not a grown up. But you know what? Like you said, it is. It's lonely, and you just need some just I don't know, another voice, a supporter.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is like if it's a screenplay or like a short film or even a play, it's good to have like a reading of it, or like just say like for my full length that I just finished, it's like now, okay, I got to do a reading of it so I can just kind of move it to the next level, and then I can, of course, rewrite. But yeah, if you can set those little stops for yourself to like keep on to the next stair, I guess,
Mhm.
and just,
Just do it.
take it one day at a time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is,
it
it is
does get,
very
yeah,
challenging though. It
yeah.
really is.
It does get very overwhelming. But I think I try to think of it like visualize, manifest, as my 16-year-old niece likes to always say, gotta manifest, you gotta manifest. But I try to manifest because I always love that little black box theater. I've
Mm,
always felt so comfortable in that those spaces,
me too.
So, I try to think of myself working out. I'm going to do it. I feel like this is it. I have a lot
Yeah.
of things I'm trying to free write a little bit more, as opposed to, like not edit, just do it. Don't even think about that
Yeah.
end. It's overwhelming. So for people that churn out a lot, like Mike Birbiglia, like Amy,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, people, authors that are just constantly churning out
Yeah.
books, not ones that hire people to write. I mean, people that are really writing.
Right. Right.
Then I really admire, because it really is, it's just, it's a gift. It's a gift to be
Yeah.
disciplined. It's a gift to be able to put all those words on paper. So I
It's
agree.
like, and you have to remember that perfect is the enemy of good, you know,
Mm,
and just do less more often.
yeah.
Just if you just make that a habit. I'm reading this book right now called Atomic Habits, and it's talking about like how if you want to create, like, say, a habit of writing, you just stack it onto another habit that you already have.
Mm,
Like,
I like that.
every time after I brush my teeth, I work on my thing for 20 minutes or, whatever. And if it's already established as a habit, you can stack it. So I'm trying that.
That's
See how
interesting,
it
because
goes.
in the morning I'm very ritualistic.
Uh-huh.
I do my lemon water. I make my coffee. I do it the same way. The electric coffee pot. Da, 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 da. I
Uh-huh.
do my lemon water. I take these particular vitamins. I do my prayer. I take my holy water. I do. I put the cream. I
Yeah.
mean, even from the creamer and the stevia. Like, it's so methodical. I sit down. I read my first horoscope. I read my second horoscope. I journal, So I think that's a great thing. I should really just tag it on to,
Yeah.
all
Even
the
if
other
it's 20
people.
minutes, I always say like I'm going to write for 20 minutes and then, usually it's at least an hour or two.
Right.
But 20 minutes just sounds less daunting.
Right, right. I did wind up doing a short film, speaking of height, on being short.
Oh, you did?
I did do that. And that also took like a year, So I had somebody helping me. So it was also like a bit of like logistics, and it was a student that was, helping me. So, just kind of getting his time and stuff like that.
We
But
should
yeah.
get you on Carmen, Carmen and I have a couple episodes of Tall and Taller. And we got to get you on
Oh God.
like we always, it's like a tall, short thing. So
Oh
we're
my God.
always looking for short people. So there you go. I don't consider you short though.
Well, I've only grown out and not up. And and I'm not going to blame it on the pandemic. And yeah, you know what? I think because I have a loud voice, and you've seen me on stage.
Yeah,
Because I do get that.
At all.
I get that all the time though when I'm performing. Oh my God, because I have a couple of jokes about being short. And it's like I at least once a show. It's like, oh, I didn't think I didn't realize you were that short.
Yeah, I didn't either at all.
As I said, kids standing, I'm available.
Right? And then, it's like everything's on Zoom now, so nobody really knows anyway.
Nobody
Whatever you
nobody
want.
knows that the closet door is not not closed.
Exactly.
And it's disgusting back there. Exactly. Well, I cannot thank you enough. It was great catching up with you. I love especially having people I haven't seen in a long
I
time.
know, it's such a treat.
It was
Such a
great.
treat.
And maybe some point we can get together. I'll see you someplace, somewhere,
Yeah.
somehow.
We'll do coffee.
I would love that. Well, you know what? We'll wrap this up and then just hang on, and I'm gonna stop the recording. But
Okay.
everybody check out Carla. It's Johnston, by the way, which I did know.
Thank you.
Johnston. Look for Carla, for Carla, all of her projects, as well as her daughters, and Claire and Violet. Check out Life and Beth on Hulu, dropping in March. I'm sorry, would you say 18th?
March 18th. Yeah.
March 18th.
Exactly.
And day after St. Patrick's Day, and I'm excited for you guys. I mean, I think it's awesome. That's great. I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you.
It's so great. I'm Ellen Karis. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Greek Chick Comic, and you have Instagram and Twitter also, Carla, right?
Yes,
Same.
I do.
Okay.
I'm Carla Comedy on Twitter and Carla Johnston on Instagram.
Awesome. With an S. Okay. With an S in between. Thanks, everybody. Till next time. Bye.